Oh, man. Double fisted over there, huh?
Just had to get you excited real quick with the double fister.
Oh, for those not watching on YouTube, Torrin's got 2 beers today. At this.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in. Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm Austin. He's Torrin. We're the Ballon Drunks. This is our weekly podcast where we drink beers and talk soccer. And we got lots to talk about today because Champions League is back, baby. Europa too. Yeah. We're going to get into our EPL picks for the weekend. You'll be in Vegas, so you'll be placing some live bets for us. So we'll be doing some bets at the end of the show. We got a lot going on.
A lot, yeah. This is great, man. We literally talked for like an hour and a half 2 days ago. And in the span of 48 hours, there were like 20 games that happened. So it's awesome, man. Being in the thick of the season, man. It's just there's soccer every day, nonstop. I love it.
It's the best, dude. Once Champions League and Europa start, it's like, here we go. Because the leagues are awesome, and then all of a sudden you get thrown this midweek, like, oh shit, all these games I totally forgot. Like, hell yeah.
I know it's awesome. It's so cool. It's something you don't see with like football in America, right? Because it's like there's always the weekly games. They now have the Thursday night game, right? But it's like with soccer, there's so many more teams and games. Mm-hmm. It's like literally you could spend the whole week just watching the games that happen around the world. Yeah. So there's never a shortage.
I could rant about this for hours, but like watching soccer is a much more enjoyable watching experience than watching American football. American football sucks as far as like it's time consuming. You're watching a shit ton of ads. It's constantly stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting. And soccer is just like boom, hour and a half flowing through the whole thing.
Long, you know?
Yeah, it's like and with European football, it's all these new clubs, or not necessarily new, but some clubs you haven't seen play in a while, you know, that you're not exactly locked into, you know, your Benficas of the world and things like that. You know, it's cool to see these clubs. So
yeah, different fan bases. Yeah, I agree with you entirely. The only way I can watch football now is Red Zone. Like that's awesome to watch. That's great to watch. But just watching a game on its own, no thanks.
Which is
way too long.
Is just scoring plays. It's like watching a highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's something like only like 11 minutes of play time in a football game when it's like 3 hours long. It's something ridiculous like that. So
stupid.
This is great. I love watching soccer.
Yeah. I remember back when I cared about football, I recorded a Charger game. And it was like 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. And I just fast forwarded through every commercial, every stoppage. I finished in like an hour and a half.
And that's a great way to watch.
It was ridiculous.
That's fun to watch like that. Yeah.
Ridiculous. So yeah, enough about football. Let's talk soccer.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah,
Champions League
started to show drinks.
Oh yeah, sorry. Warm us up with some drinks. Yeah. I was already drinking, but
so we got our start of the show drinks. So typically we're going to be checking in on Premier League red cards, but thanks to Champions League and Europa being back, we're going to use that as our midweek start of the show drink. We had 3 red cards in the first round of the Champions League. We had a red card from Feyenoord, a red card from Copenhagen, and a red card from Benfica very early in the game. So that's 3 drinks from the Champions League for us. And then we also had 3 in Europa League. Sheriff, Toulouse, and Ajax, all with red cards. So 6 drinks to start off the show.
Oh, man. Okay, we're going to have to stagger these. You go first. And then when you're done, I'll go. So, of all the Champions League matches, day 2, because we talked about day 1 on Tuesday, the day 2 matches, the one I was most looking forward to was, where is it? I have it here. Was Manchester United and Bayern. I had the game up in front of me, but anyways, I can just talk about it. I was able to watch this in its entirety, and I'm glad I did, because I don't know. What did you think? Why don't you give me your opinion from watching the highlights and see if it matches what I saw, and I'll start drinking.
So so I watched the highlights. I didn't watch this game. I did, however, I actually watched part of this game live. So it was on during lunchtime, and I came home for lunch, and I think I saw, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes live. So not that much of it. But from what I saw, Man U was once again all over the place. They seemed not like a cohesive unit. They almost seemed like they were getting angry at each other. They seemed like a team completely on the ropes, to use a boxing term. And yet somehow, I always talk about this, somehow they just find a way to score goals, to stay in games when they shouldn't be able to stay in games. And it felt like a very dominating game from Bayern, but if you look at the scoreline and kind of the stress near the end of the match, it would kind of tell you otherwise. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts, having watched the game, because I thought it was one more sort of nail in the coffin of Man U, but the stats and the scoreline might not tell that story.
How do I phrase this? I think Bayern are the better team, no doubt about it. Especially, like, maybe United at full strength has a shot, but with the players on the field, Bayern were better. However, United looked so much better than they had all season. This is probably the best I've seen them play.
Interesting.
They looked like they actually showed up and wanted to play. I have a quote for you I was going to do later, but I think it's good timing now. Here it is right here. So Onana let in that first goal. Totally missed it. Easy shot he just let through.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw his presser after the game, but this is what he said. It's only my fault. After my mistake, we lost control of the game. I'm the one who let the team down. It's my fault for sure. It's my responsibility because of me. We didn't win, and I have to learn from it and learn from it for present and future. I have a lot to prove for sure because to me, to be honest, my start at Manchester United is not good so far. He totally owned up to everything, and he was like, we were in control of the game. I don't know if they were in control of the game, but it was...
Nah.
They were in the game. They were in the game. I'm sure if you were a Manchester United player, you felt like we're in this, and that totally deflated them. But they came back and answered. It was back and forth after that, and then they ended up... Bayern got a super lucky penalty, one of the ones that just like...
That was lucky.
That stuff that happens, like header right into the guy's hand, no way he could do anything about it. It just happens, letter of the law, it's a penalty. So if you take away those two goals, like Man United's there, they weren't the better team, but like I said, it was a much better performance from them. But there are moments where, like you said, they looked a little disheveled. I think it's with all the new guys in the back, and Bayern's got some firepower that, like, when they string a couple passes together, it's scary.
That's what stuck out to me. It was like the moments where Bayern looked good. It felt like Man U was offering no resistance. Like that's what concerned me, right? It was like they're getting sliced up. It was like that type of thing. And you could see the frustration on the guys, Lisandro Martinez and some of these other guys. They're super frustrated. So that's kind of what I took away from the small clips and bits that I saw. I think the part of the game that I actually watched live, I think it was fairly even, I feel like. But the highlights kind of told a different story, obviously, with the goals that were scored.
Yeah.
And you could tell that Onana was pissed after he let that goal in. He stayed on the ground for a while, punching the ground.
It was bad, yeah.
But that's great quote though. I mean, that's what you love to hear. You love to hear a guy that's owning up to it and knows he needs to be better.
Yeah. It just feels like Man United was at rock bottom, and I feel this performance was just, a glimmer of hope that, like, okay. This is better. This is a better performance. You didn't get the result you wanted, but at least you guys were in it, I think part of the problem for them is their midfield trio is old, and like as the game goes on, it gets older and older. Like Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno Fernandes isn't exactly like hustling around, owning the midfield. He's great at creating chances and playing direct, but he's not exactly working his ass off. So it was kind of easy for them to slice up the midfield here and there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how much hope it instilled in you when we get into our
I know
our picks later on.
I know
for the groups. So,
we shall
but yeah,
see.
so that was probably the blockbuster game of Matchday 2. But there were a few other games that went down. Did you catch the highlights of the Real Madrid Union Berlin game?
No, that was actually one I missed. Did I miss something? Tell me about it.
So classic Real Madrid dominating, what you would expect in this matchup, right? So Real Madrid, with the firepower, creating chances. I think they had 2 or 3 shots off the post. Rodrigo had like a sick volley that like was straight off the post. So just like constantly bombarding Berlin's goal, but just can't score. 94th minute, injury time, 0-0.
Damn.
Bellingham scores.
That hurts so bad for Union Berlin.
So
my God.
So it was like a quarter kick, and they like played it short, like top of the box shorter to Valverde. And the defenders were just like exhausted, and he like, juked open and just ripped a shot, and it got like deflected and like bounced around, and it just fell. It was just like, it was a lucky goal, right? It just fell straight to Bellingham.
Yeah.
Puts it in the back of the net. But it was just, exactly how these games tend to go, right? When like the pressure, you can hold up to some of these teams for, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes. But when the pressure's there and the pressure's relentless, especially as players start to get tired, that's what happens, man. But so Madrid escaped with a win when they very much could have ended up with a tie in that game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that sucks. But I'm looking. I just brought up the stats and everything. I can't believe Aronson can't make it onto the starting lineup. American, drink. But
yeah, drink.
Like, they have some players on that team. They got Gazins, but I wonder, because I'm not paying attention to Union Berlin matches. He was really bad at the end of last year, the second half of last year.
Yeah.
I hope he's not continuing to be bad, but I don't know. It's worrisome to see him not starting.
Brought him in
squad.
in the 66th minute.
That's good. At least he played.
Yeah, he played. It wasn't like he came in on the 85th or something, but yeah, no, it's I would love to see him play more and get a start. But they played well. I mean, they held up well against one of the best teams, obviously in the Champions League. So you got to still come away with some positives, for a team like Berlin.
God, it would have been awesome if they could steal a point right there, though.
If they stole a point, that would have been amazing. In Madrid, that would have been so cool.
Yeah. Our other games, Arsenal cruised against PSV. Arsenal back in the Champions League.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one-way traffic. It was, in London. No surprises there. I feel like everything else was kind of as expected. Nothing really jumped out. Oh, I saw that. Did you see the Galatasaray Copenhagen match?
That was a sick game.
That was wild. Copenhagen was lucky to get a point. I feel like Galatasaray just couldn't finish. Icardi should have had a hat trick. Mertens missed like 2 easy ones.
Oh, exactly. But still to be up 2-0 in like the 85th minute and to only come away with a draw, this gotta hurt so bad.
Yeah, but I feel like they didn't even deserve to be there. Also, my boy Zaha came into the match, had a really great assist with an even better goal from Tete. Or not Tete, what's his name? Is it Tete?
Tete scored, yeah.
Yeah, Tete, yeah. Dude, ripped it. That was such a sick volley off the cross from Zaha, and then he just one-timed it with his left foot. Oh man, right into the corner. So sick. That was a really, really entertaining match. And I was really excited to see Galatasaray. Happy Zaha was able to make it on the field.
Yeah, that was a good game. And then did you see the Salzburg Benfica game?
I didn't watch it. I caught the highlights though.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a really interesting game. So Benfica was looking really good. They were creating chances. I think they had a shot off the post, and then literally like 2 minutes later, Salzburg's on the attack, and they like try to chip the goalie, and like the ball bounces and like hits the crossbar and like deflects off the crossbar onto like a defender's hand and gets a red card. And I feel like it was very hard to tell if it was like on purpose or not. Like I don't know. I couldn't tell whether it was on purpose or not. But the fact is, his arm deflected the ball from a guy that was literally going to just like smash the ball into the net, basically. So yeah. I get the red card, but it was just a really weird play and really weird situation.
And even the first one, the penalty with the goalie punch, like I don't know about that one either. Like I think the ball don't lie rule kind of applied there. Like the goalie punching the guy's head, I feel like he was just going for the ball. Like that happens. I don't know. Like what's the goalie supposed to do?
Oh, it definitely happens. I think it was far enough away that I wasn't too upset with it being called. Like, you know, it was a full like double hand hit on the head, and like the ball wasn't there. You know, so yeah. I mean, but you could say ball don't lie because they didn't actually score on that.
Yeah. It was like it was kind of like. It's just so bang bang, and then when you watch something in replay and slow it down a ton, it's like, oh well, clearly this, and it's like, yeah, but in real time, the guy's not even looking. Like it's just like it's.
Yes. I mean that's really true, right? He doesn't actually, he's probably not looking at the guy that he's punching,
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah, and the other one,
I can see that.
It's just kind of two goofy penalties, but big win for Salzburg.
Yeah, so Salzburg takes the win 2-0 when Benfica, started out the game and was looking strong. So that's huge for Salzburg to go into Benfica and come out with 3 points.
Absolutely. I thought Inter, that match was really tough. Real Sociedad looked good. They ended up
solid, yeah.
Inter with a second half goal to tie it up 1-1, come away with the draw. Where
late goal, yeah.
Late, and it's not like they were. I only watched the highlights of this one, but it appeared like Real Sociedad was the better team, had more chances, and Inter just kind of withstood the barrage, and then ended up getting a goal late.
Yeah, I mean the goal they gave up was this like a single, individual moment of just like, what the hell are you doing, trying to like dribble out of defense. But besides that, they held really firm against, a Sociedad side that was creating shots. I mean, they definitely had more shots than Inter and were probably pressuring them more. But I did feel like Inter looked really strong, like in the midfield. Like there were other parts of the field where I thought Inter still looked really good, even though that, they probably, their defense was more under assault than Sociedad's.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the type of games, man, when things aren't going your way and you find a way to get a point on the road in a tough place, tough team, it's a great sign for a team like Inter to do that. So they're off to a good start even with a tough game.
Yeah, absolutely. So stats for that one were possession 56-44, Inter led. But Real Sociedad had 14 shots, 5 on target. Inter only had 6 shots, only 1 on target. But it was a goal. So, yeah. That was a good match. Any others you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, the last two we just didn't mention. Sevilla Lens, I actually didn't watch that one at all. It was a 1-1 draw. I missed my opportunity to watch Sergio Ramos, so maybe I'll catch those highlights at some point. But I did see the highlights for the Napoli-Braga game. So this was once again, this example of like a team kind of like Real Madrid, Napoli was just like assaulting Braga's goal, and Osimhen and everyone else just could not find a way to score. Goalie saving stuff. I think they hit the crossbar and the post. Like, it was just relentless. And then in injury time in the first half, they finally get a goal. It was kind of lucky, like a shanked volley, but it bounced like perfectly into the top corner.
Yeah.
So of course, like that's the goal they score, right? When like somebody actually messes up. But they have the 1-0 lead when, they easily could have been up like 3, 4-0 even. Yeah. And then late in the game, Braga get the tying goal. And if I remember right, this was like a blast. Like, this was a really good shot. But in the 84th minute, they tied up 1-1. 4 minutes later, Napoli get the winning goal on a terrible own goal deflection by the center back, try to block a cross straight into his net. So they go into Braga and get the 3 points, and they looked very strong and fluid. A lot of what we were seeing last year seems to be carrying over to this year.
Yeah, I saw a stat. I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but what's the Georgian guy's name? I can never pronounce it. It's like too intimidating for me.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah. So he's only got 1 goal in, like, I can't remember the exact timeline, but he basically has not scored in more than a goal in quite a while. So he's been kind of off as far as goal scoring goes. I haven't been watching a lot of Italian league that isn't a Milan team. So
okay.
I don't know, but my point is, if they want to go far, they need that guy. You can't just have Osimhen. Yeah. I feel like he was such a key part of their success last year, and if he's struggling, like, I feel like they're gonna struggle to score.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was so he just created so many problems last year, and they got to have that extra dynamic. Like, they have good players. They have players, different positions, solid midfield and things like that. But he's kind of the key. Like, Osimhen is great if you provide him the service, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he gets on the end of everything, but you need somebody that can draw defenders and create the space and give the service that somebody like that needs. So he is, I agree 100%. He's going to be super key for them to be successful this year, especially in the Champions League.
But early days still, and they got the win 2-1, so huge 3 points.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the end of Matchday 1 for the Champions League. Last year we did our picks where we tried to pick the stages, who finished exactly first, exactly second, and then go against each other and see. And I believe you won last year. So we're going to do our picks this year.
So, yeah.
We're going to do our picks this year. And I think you're going to win again because I win a little bit with my heart, and a little less with my head here. So, because I didn't want to go chalk. Going chalk is just too easy. And I want to, I'm playing hero ball right now. I'm going for the Hail Mary.
All right. I don't blame you, man. Let's make this exciting.
Oh, it looks like you went a little crazy too.
I know. I didn't go all chalk, but we know how much greater it's going to be if the chalk outcomes don't happen, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Whatever you went with, whatever I went with that isn't chalk, we're all going to be wishing for that to happen because it's going to be way more exciting and fun to watch.
Yeah. Okay, Group A. Bayern, Man United, Galatasaray, Copenhagen. I went Bayern, Man United. I went chalk. You went off the radar, so you went Bayern first, Galatasaray second. Explain yourself.
I did. I mean, we got into it at the very beginning, right? So you had opportunity to watch Man U the whole game. I kind of watched more of the highlights, and I wasn't that impressed, man. Like, obviously Galatasaray only comes away with a draw against Copenhagen, which, isn't going to help this situation here. A team that Man U will probably beat, right? But this is much more a pick against Man U than a pick for Galatasaray, if you get what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not convinced with Man U right now. I could easily see a path where they just go down this spiral of doom and the season becomes lost, right? it's against everything that I guess logically think, because I say this every freaking week. It always just finds a way to work out for fucking Man U, like even when they shouldn't. But I feel like I'm finally starting to see that it might not this year, and so I'm just like, this could be it, man.
It's right.
I feel like a team like Galatasaray will be ready to pounce. They get one big, say they get a draw at Bayern and a win at Man U on the road, and they're in it. They're right there. So, yeah, and like you said, Galatasaray looked pretty good. They created a lot of chances. They couldn't finish. They should have won that game, like you said. So they got pieces and players now that can legitimately cause problems for these big clubs.
I mean, you're right to be like, Man United hasn't looked good all year. The vibes are really bad around everybody. So I get it, but I just wasn't able to do it because I still feel like they have enough talent still to get out of this group. So I couldn't do it, but I understand it. I thought about it, but I couldn't do it. Group B, we went the same. Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens. We both picked Arsenal to come out on top, and then Sevilla in second. I chalk. I feel like the only chance probably is PSV.
I was going to say, knowing that PSV, they did get a little sliced up by Arsenal, but seeing that Sevilla struggled against Lens, I think there's maybe a little bit of there could be a battle there between those two guys. Yeah.
It's weird to see Sevilla not in Europa League.
I know. Maybe is this the year? You make it to the knockouts, dude?
Oh man, I don't know. Group C, Real Madrid, Napoli, Union Berlin, Braga. This was a really easy chalk one for me. We both did the same. Real Madrid 1, Napoli 2. It's going to come down to the Napoli-Madrid face-off to determine who gets first in the group, but I don't see any of the other two teams making it.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, great showing from Berlin, but I think they're going to struggle against these two big teams, the rest of the way.
Yeah. This group is more feisty than I thought it was going to be. So,
for sure.
Inter, Benfica, Real Sociedad, and Salzburg. You picked Inter Benfica. I went Inter Salzburg. So this is the one where I was like, I'm not going chalk on this one where Benfica is the second place one. But after seeing Real Sociedad play, I'm like, man, maybe I should have picked them. But I'm going Salzburg as my second. I feel like, honestly, even Inter is no guarantee that they're going to win. I feel like all those teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah. So I'm basing this entirely off the 13 minutes of Benfica that I watched before they got a red card. But in that 13 minutes, I thought they looked really good. And so I was like, I know they already lost a game, right? And a game against, one of the teams that's going to be competing. It's not like they lost against Inter. They lost against Salzburg, who is like a team they should be really competing with and hopefully beating. But I feel like they have the most talent of these three teams, right? I think that's going to show through in the end. It obviously was kind of an unlucky game, I think, for them, and they paid the price. But I think you're dead on. I think seeing what Sociedad did, I think it's going to be really competitive. And it makes me really sad. We were talking about this before at the start of the season. It was in the offseason, I think, that David Silva tore his ACL, and I think he was on Real Sociedad, and he would have been playing in this Champions League, which would have been sick to see. Unfortunately. But yeah, I think it'll be a tight contest, but I think skill and class shine through in the end. I think Benfica's got more of it.
Yeah, and Inter just came out so hot this year. Serie A, they've been on fire, so it was easy to pick them number one. But yeah, those next three, who knows? Toss up. All right, Group E, Atletico, Lazio, Feyenoord, and Celtic. You picked Lazio to come out in first, Atletico in second. I went Lazio first and Feyenoord second because
I like it.
Fuck Atletico. I just hate Atletico so much purely because of their coach is a tool.
Simeone.
And so I was like, I can't pick that guy. Fuck Simeone. So I went Feyenoord. And I don't know. I don't think it's smart, but we'll see.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as me. I actually think Atletico is a better team than Lazio, but the same thinking went into me being like, I can't pick them first. I'm right there with you, dude.
Simeone sucks, dude. Oh, man.
But I don't think Celtic and Feyenoord are going to be able to compete with them.
Okay, this is the group. Group F. Let's get to Group F. This is the one that was so difficult for me. I flew through the other groups. This one I took way too much time picking. Group F, PSG, AC Milan, Newcastle, Dortmund.
Group of death.
Group of death by a mile. You explain your picks first, and then I'll talk about mine.
So I think we even talked about it a little bit when we went through the draw and we talked through this. We talked about how, looking at this draw, PSG, I think we might have even looked at the odds, right? But we're like, even with this group of death and all these really good teams, PSG will probably end up still being the team favored, right? I personally think Milan's a better team. So I went with Milan first. I do think there's enough talent, obviously, with Mbappe at PSG, that they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way to make it through and qualify. And so that's why I picked PSG over Newcastle Dortmund. I think, obviously, it's a group of death. So these teams are as even as it gets. And to see a team like Dortmund, Newcastle, newcomers, good team. I understand them, not making it to the next round, being in this group, which sucks for them. But it was hard to leave Dortmund off. But I think PSG is going to edge them out.
This is another one where I went with my heart and not my head.
Yeah.
Because I should have picked PSG. I should have. Just to be clear, you picked AC Milan first, PSG second.
Yeah.
I left PSG off. I put AC Milan first, Newcastle second. I'm taking a home run swing on this. It's difficult to say. Like, Mbappe is probably the best player in the world right now. And to say that he's not going to make it out of the group stage with a surrounding cast that is not terrible. It's still a good team, even though they don't have some of the star power they used to have.
Yeah, it still looked good.
So I think that was really dumb of me not to take them, but I'm kind of just wishing they don't make it because I love these other teams. And like you said, it was hard to leave off Dortmund. They could easily slide in, and I could see any of these teams advancing. They're all good teams.
Yeah.
And out of the gates, PSG beat Dortmund at home, but I like to see PSG on the road and see what they can do against those three teams who all have great home field advantages.
It's going to be so awesome to see the Champions League in Newcastle with those fans. I think that'll be amazing.
Oh, my God. Those Newcastle fans are going to be so amped. Dude, and then Dortmund is one of the toughest places to play out there.
The toughest place to play probably anywhere. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
The biggest stadium in Europe.
Yeah, they fucking Tottenham designed their new stadium after that fucking giant wall they have over there.
Exactly.
It's going to be so awesome. Every one of those matches is going to be super intense.
Really, really good.
So we'll see.
Question for you just popped into my head. So if what you picked happens, PSG does not make it to the knockout stage, how do you think that influences the next year of Mbappe? Do you think he'll just immediately leave?
I don't think it's going to matter what happens. If they win the Champions League, I don't think it's going to make a difference. It sounds to me he's out at the end of this year and he's going to be on Real Madrid, and that's just what I'm assuming is going to happen. No matter what happens. It just seems right, It seems destined to happen, right?
Yeah. With everything that's been talked about and gone on, it's like, how could anything else happen, right?
Exactly.
It just feels like it.
So, I don't think it's going to influence it in any way. All right. Group G, we both went chalk on this one. This is Man City, Leipzig, Red Star, Young Boys. I don't see how you could pick some of the other two. We went Man City 1, Leipzig 2.
Yep.
Group H, Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar, Antwerp. We picked the same two teams. You put Porto first. I put Barcelona first. Sure. Yep. Antwerp doesn't look like they can hang after that first match.
No.
Shakhtar's the one that kind of can.
They're always they're a little spicy sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, they have a squad that can really take it to any team in the world. But I don't know. I don't know about this year. Porto, I went with Porto.
Yeah. No, I feel you there. Yeah, I just think I could see either of these teams winning the group. I could see, Barcelona obviously cruised in this first game, but we've seen them struggle before, and their team's not that much different than teams of the last year, right? So I could see a situation where, Porto strings together 2-3 wins here, and suddenly Barcelona's, they have no choice but to be second place. They can't even catch up to Porto. So
no, I could easily see that.
That's what I went with.
Agreed. Okay. All right. Well.
All right.
That was Champions League. Europa. Did you watch any Europa?
I caught a few highlights today.
So I got to watch Brighton and Athens.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one. I watched Liverpool and Ajax and Marseille. Those are the two I watched.
Yeah, dude, that Ajax game was crazy too.
That was a nuts game.
Let's talk about that one.
Tell me about Brighton.
You want to go Brighton first? Okay. So Brighton, dude, it was a wild game, man. They were the better team. They ended up losing 3-2. But you got to give credit to Athens. It wasn't a fluke. Like they defended really well, and when they got chances, they took them. I feel like Brighton's defense was easily carved up when the time came, and although they were on the front foot a lot and had some chances, they really didn't get any like great looks at it. They scored 2 penalties. It's not that, I don't know, I feel like they didn't play their worst game.
But they also didn't play like the Brighton we've been seeing.
Yeah, they weren't able to kind of break them down as easily as I thought they would. And Athens played well. Like, you got to give them credit. And they came out with 3 points. It was huge. So, disappointing loss for Brighton. They're at home as well, and like that group they're in, that group they're in is not easy. Like they have, let me check real quick. So they have Athens, which they just lost to, and then they have Marseille and Ajax in that group. Like that's a tough group. Yeah. And segueing into that Marseille Ajax match, like those are 2 good teams.
Crazy game.
That was a crazy game. What did it end? 3-3.
3-3, yeah.
Dude, and it was like...
It was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, and then 3-3 at the end.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, Aubameyang tied it up. He had 2 goals. It was crazy. He could have had 4. I feel like he missed 2 easy chances at the beginning, and then his first goal was like a slip one-time shot into the corner. I'm like, okay, he made that one, but he missed those first 2. Like, oh my god, dude! Like, there were chances all over the place. So this group's going to be really exciting. Not a lot of great defense out there, and some good attacking football. It's going to be fun, dude.
Yeah, that was a fun game to watch. And there was another absolute rip in this. The Berghaus goal was he blasted that with his left foot. That was sick. Such a good goal.
Oh yeah. What was the? Did you see? You said you saw Liverpool. Did you see that last goal?
Yeah.
What was his name? Like Flecker or something like that.
Flecker just rifled it from outside the box, man.
Dude, on the short hop, just missiled that thing into the corner. That felt so good coming off the foot. I guarantee it. And then
it must have looked so good in the air too.
So that was Lask, and I was unfamiliar with it. I was like, who the fuck is Lask? Look it up. So they're an Austrian team. They're like 3rd or 4th in the league right now. But they panned to the stands. I don't know if you saw this. After the goal, and the fans were cheering, and they had kind of like the front row had sort of a banister in front of them about like waist height. But all the fans would set their beers on it. And so they have these plastic beer mugs that are like 20 to 24 ounce cups, like solid cups.
They're liter. They got liter beers for sure.
Yeah, and they're just like
they do it in Bavaria.
They're all lined up there, and I'm like, dude, why do we not do this way? Like, why in America are we how we are? Like, this is not right. This is not right.
I know.
Like, fuck, dude. And I bet those beers are like affordable and reasonable priced.
Yeah, man. It was so. I mean, I just went to Austria, a month ago. What is that?
Oh, 2 months ago. I knew you went to Germany. I didn't know you went to Austria. I forgot.
Yeah, I went to Vienna in Austria, but I didn't realize it, but it's very much just going to Munich and then to Austria. It's very much still Bavaria, still big beer drinking culture, liter beers, beer garden. It's awesome. I loved it there. I went to they were having a film festival and just this open beer garden, and I swear this brewery had 40 different beers. They had so many different beers that they all brew themselves. It was all of their beers. It wasn't they had 20 different breweries beers. They'd love their beer there. It was so much fun.
Did they do the same type of beers that we do at the breweries we go to, where they have their assortment of IPAs and then their ambers and stuff like that? Or is it all Pilsner stuff?
No, Bavarian beers are light. I mean, that's kind of how they do it, right? The beers that I like. I mean, I like the lighter beers. You're starting to see it though. They're starting to have one IPA, or a hate, it's starting to show up a little bit, right? As an off the wall thing. They definitely like their sours. They were probably
I'm not a fan of sours.
Sour options. Yeah. I know, me neither. But the other big thing that they like to do instead of sours is they call them radlers, but it's really like a shandy, right? So you basically mix beer and lemon or something like that, right? So it's almost like a juice mixed with beer, and it's a really big thing in Germany and also in Austria. It's called a radler. If you ever go, check it out. It tastes really good, but I still prefer just give me a normal beer.
So you're telling me they have 50 different kinds of light Pilsner beers?
I mean, no, there are some stouts in there, but they don't go with the 9% triple IPA. You're not going to find, there's breweries you go to here in America, and it's they have 3 different hazy IPAs, a double IPA. It's they're here's 10 different types of lighter beers, whether it's a Pilsner or it's a lager or it's an ale, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
So it was,
it
was cool.
That is cool. I don't fuck with IPAs anymore.
Beer culture.
Now that I'm out of my 20s, I don't mess around with IPAs anymore.
No, I like to enjoy my drinking. I don't want to
get punched in the face by it.
Yeah,
holy fuck, what did I just drink? I need to sit down. Jesus, yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, so, sorry, jumping back, so Liverpool actually goes down 1-0 behind that amazing goal.
Oh, my God,
yeah. In the second half, they clawed it back. Go into halftime down 1-0. Don't make any, substitutions at halftime, but come back out, and they obviously got a good team talk at halftime in. And they go on to win 3-0 or 3-1 by the end of the game.
Putting in Mo Salah helped too.
Yeah, they put him in later on and created that last goal. So
he almost scored 2.
But yeah, there were some good games. There's some other ones here that it'd be cool to check out. The Roma game, Leverkusen. There's some other teams.
West Ham took care of business. Atalanta, Panathinaikos beat Villarreal. I feel like there's.
Actually, I did watch the Rangers Real Betis. I watched that highlight as well.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so Rangers won that game.
Old squad Maccabi Haifa. Remember them last year?
Damn. Yeah,
they lost 3-0 to Rennes, but dude, they made a nice showing last year in Champions League. So
yeah, they had some cool dudes. Yeah.
Looks like they didn't start well, but I'll keep an eye on them as we go. Okay, cool. So that was Champions League. Now we got Premier League coming up this weekend, so let's go through our picks. I actually opened the app and it worked, so I have all my picks ready and in front of me. So let's go. We got a lot of good matches this weekend. First off, Man City, Nottingham Forest. If we don't have the same pick on this, I'd be shocked. Did you go 3-0 Man City?
Let's see. I got... Hold on. We're getting loaded here. 3-0.
Yeah, I didn't even need you. I knew. Next up, Luton Town at home hosting Wolves. Is this the match where Luton gets their first goal?
They scored.
Oh, they did get one? Oh, my bad.
I think they scored a goal, yeah.
How about their first point?
No
how about that? Yeah, how about their first point? I'm going to say no. I went 0-2. I think Wolves are still going to win. Poor Luton Town. I'm going to pick against them every time.
They're tied with Everton. They've scored 2 goals each.
Oh, man, Everton. Jesus.
I did give them their first point in this game.
You 1-1 did? Draw. Okay. I like it. I couldn't do it. Next match, Crystal Palace at home for Fulham. It's a tough one for me. It hurt me to do this, but I went 2-0 Crystal Palace.
Oh, okay. I also went 1-1 in this one, draw at Crystal Palace for Fulham.
Yeah, my boy Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson. I want them to be doing better. Although you're not on Instagram, but Blake sent a cool stat, and it was the fastest
times last year.
Oh, did you see it?
He sent it in the chat, yeah, or it popped up in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Anthony Robinson, fastest player in the league so far this season. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it was actually last season, it said, I think.
Oh, was it? So, oh, maybe I read it wrong. Okay.
I think it was like people that had played at least 400 minutes last season or something like that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Next up, Brentford hosting Everton. I actually gave Everton a goal in this, and I'm debating.
I did too.
I don't know why I did that, but 2-1. That's what I did.
Too.
What'd you do?
Same here.
2-1. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Getting back to that speed thing, it was this season. I misread that. Yeah. So far this season.
Wait, are you saying you're on Instagram again?
No, it was on Twitter.
Oh, he texted it. Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Got you. I'm with you now. All right, Burnley at home for Man United. All right, Torrin, how much do you hate Man United? What'd you do?
2-1 win, Man United.
I went 3-1 Man United.
Okay. I think it'll be a tough game.
But, real quick on Man United, I have a question for you. So, they got so much shit going on off the pitch. If you're the coach, here's what I would consider doing. Let me know if you would do the same. Anthony, if you find out that, like, hey, he's going to have some legal issues because this shit looks bad, just get rid of him now. Sancho, get rid of him now. They already did that with Greenwood. I say just cut that fat off right now and just move forward with whatever you got. Am I right?
I don't
Wrong?
think we can do that.
Why not?
Oh, Greenwood came up through the academy. Anthony, you paid 95 million euros for him.
It's Man U, man. They fuck up all the time. Like,
I get it, but nobody's gonna buy him. Like, who's gonna spend? Like, how much money are you gonna get back for him?
Not enough, but you could get him. Shit, I don't know. You could probably still sell him for half of that.
How much did they pay for Sancho? Sancho,
you're not going to get shit for Sancho. Yeah. But you could sell Anthony for something.
I don't know, man. You just paid $95 million less than a year ago.
He hasn't been good since he's been there. And that's on the field. Sancho on the field has been terrible.
I just don't know how you could do that, man. Like, it's just you just lose all. You can't like, no matter how. I understand what you're saying. I agree with the idea. Like, you're in such a bad spiral. It's like, just let's get a fresh start here. I 100% agree with the idea. I just think from a business perspective, you can't do that. You just can't.
Did you see Sancho was in New York, like partying? There were some videos of him.
No, that's great.
And it's like, dude. Oh my god! Just putting like putting fuel on the fire. Like, what are you doing, dude? Okay. Sorry, a little sidebar there. So that was Man U. We both picked them to win. Liverpool at home for West Ham. There's a big one. All right, I'm curious to know what you picked for this one.
I have loved the way West Ham's been looking.
I know, me too.
Liverpool's also looked very good.
I know.
I think it's a 2-2 draw.
Oh, okay. I went 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay.
West Ham's really good defensively, so I picked it a little lower scoring than just a real shootout. I don't think.
I will say I definitely leaned heavy on the ties this week because I feel like there's a lot of very equal teams.
Yeah, we'll get to a couple ties that I had later.
Yeah, but obviously that would be a huge result for West Ham. But I think it's very possible. Very possible.
Looking at the Liverpool lineup that went out there against Lask made me think that Klopp is looking ahead to this game this weekend and being like, we need these guys fresh.
100%.
I bet you he was pissed he had to bring them in at all to make sure that game was sealed. But
yeah, but they only played, 30 minutes. So,
side note about Vegas bets. I just want to file this away. If they take Europa seriously, they have to be the favorite to win that. They just have to, right?
Yeah.
So I might want to place a futures bet on that.
It's a good point. And what's funny is that'll probably depend on how they do in the Premier League, right? So, because you saw this with like West Ham last year. West Ham was in the Europa Conference League, right? The third tier of European football. They were struggling in the Premier League, like at times, legitimately flirting with relegation, but they were winning in the Conference League, and they just like made that their focus, and they end up winning the Europa Conference League in the end and get a trophy. But it's a perfect example. But I feel like, what I'm saying there is like, right now, yes, they are definitely the favorite. If we look at the odds, that's probably what it says, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to look them up, but it's not loading properly. But yeah. I feel like they have to be the most talented team by a long shot.
For sure.
Okay. Brighton at home for Bournemouth. I think Brighton rolls on this one. I gave them 3-1. I think they're going to be pissed after that loss, too.
Yep, I went 3-1 as well.
Yeah.
I think they'll be back at it.
This one I struggled with. And I think I'm going to change the score now that I look at it. Chelsea at home for Aston Villa. Originally, I put Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 3. But I think I want to change that to Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 2. Just because Chelsea struggles to score. And they have a decent defense, so I'm going Villa, taking it to Chelsea. I just need to figure out the amount here.
Damn. I went 2-2 again. Just like the other big
So you just copped out on all these matches.
It's not a cop out, dude.
I know. You get the same amount of points.
You made the comment about Aston Villa's defense. They lost Tyrone Mings, who's probably their best defender. So I think they're going to be susceptible and vulnerable at times. I think this is a game where Chelsea actually finally gets some balls in the frickin' net.
Yeah, which they should.
So
I think it'll be a really exciting match either way.
Exactly, but it'll be the ultimate Chelsea game for them to still tie, even though they finally score.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, Arsenal, Tottenham, the match of the weekend. I have a feeling we got the same score. 2-2.
2-2.
2-2. It's like, if this is not the most 2-2 match of all time, I don't know what is. Like, both these teams look good right now.
Yeah.
Both of them can score.
I would feel more confident on 2-2 if it was at Tottenham. It makes me a little bit more uneasy picking 2-2 being at Arsenal, but I think they're, like you said, like as even as it gets, it feels like.
Tottenham's on fire right now. Absolutely on fire.
They're on fire. The vibes are firing. Everything's firing. And you got to say the same about Arsenal. Like, they're just still riding, obviously it was a disappointment last year, but also just like so incredibly like liberating to finally be like, we're one of the best teams again, So they're both just like riding these highs, I feel like, and it'll be really fun to watch.
And I'd be curious to ask a player on the team or a player that has done this before, but I want to know if there's an advantage or disadvantage in any way for playing European football in the middle of the week and then playing a huge match on the weekend. Because that Tottenham squad is looking forward and training for this match the whole week.
Yep.
It's their one focus. Arsenal, they had this match in the middle of the week. It was a big game for them because they hadn't been there in a while, but it was an easy one, so there's that. And it was at home, so they're not traveling. So it should be fine for them. But I always wonder if these midweek matches make a difference. If guys are tired on the weekend, I don't know.
Yeah, why don't we ask Havertz?
He played.
I know.
I'm not. Oh, you want me to dog him?
I just wanted to say his name out loud.
All right. Here's my Havertz. Here's my Havertz. Will he start in this match? He started in the Champions League. Will he start in this match? What do you think?
Yes.
You think he does?
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be
pay too much money? Pay too much money for him not to start.
It's going to be a huge red flag if he does not. I'll say that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I agree with you entirely about that thinking. There's no way it can't have an impact. Like, Tottenham's been waiting since last weekend, resting, preparing, practicing, watching film, talking about strategy.
Not playing a 90-minute match. Like,
not playing a game where you want to win in the Champions League. Like, there's absolutely no way it does not have an impact.
Yeah.
Right? It has to. But I will say this. It has an impact. Whether it's bad or good is debatable.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It 100% has an impact in terms of distracting you from this game that's coming up. But if you play in midweek and you dominate a team and the team gets, flying even higher than they were before, like, it could actually end up being a net positive. But there's no way it doesn't, have some sort of impact.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more often than not, it's a negative because obviously, like you said, tired from playing a game, loss of focus, traveling, all this stuff. Right?
Maybe you got a knock in your sore and you're not going to be 100%.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But it could swing the other way, and I could see that being legit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Last match of the week, Sheffield at home for Newcastle. I know Sheffield is always playing tough, but I couldn't do it for him this week. I win Newcastle 2-0.
3-0 Newcastle. I think it's Newcastle fully back on track game.
Yeah, they did look better against AC Milan. That point's got to make them feel good. So,
Yeah, that could be a perfect example of where midweek actually helped the team, right?
Yeah.
You went into a super tough place, get away with a point.
Yeah.
Played well, withstood the barrages.
They needed that point so badly.
They're like, dude, we got a point. We we survived that, and you're just like, that could really be a team where
that's what it was. It was a survival. That's
they survived,
especially in that first like half hour. Oh my god, dude! They took so many shots, and they made it out with the points. So.
I mean, I gotta say, I was shocked. Like, I don't know. I've had this perception in my mind. I feel like that the Premier League is like so much better than other leagues, and obviously Milan's like one of the, if not the best, one of the best teams in Serie A. And Newcastle is one of the best teams in Premier League last year. And Milan looked like really good against them. So it definitely made me stop and rethink a little bit of like, some of these top teams in other leagues are just as good or better than these Premier League teams,
That's the thing. Is
they showed it.
The Premier League is the best team or the best league because it's just so deep. Like, outside of the relegation teams, you take those teams out, like every other team is just on average so much better than the other leagues. Like, but those top teams in each league
at each position,
those top teams in each league are still just as good. So
really good,
yeah. Some better than others, but like that group of death squad is like, for Newcastle to pull that, or for those others, like those top tier ones, like PSG and AC Milan, to be like, dude, are you serious? We got Dortmund and fucking Newcastle as our 3-4. Like, what the fuck? That's so unlucky. So unlucky.
Yeah, it really sucks. You would much rather, wish you could have two strong groups of three than like a group of death. It sucks.
Yeah. All right. So those all the picks. Did you have some quotes? As I pull mine up.
Yeah, I had some quotes. Do you have some?
I already dropped my Onana quote for you.
Okay. I had just a list of quotes here. So I think you had a Would You Rather that actually involved Paul Scholes. And I actually have a list of quotes here about Paul Scholes from other people, particularly other players. So I know we've brought him up a few times. I've talked about how, he's one of my favorite players. He was on my favorite player list. I think I talked about before how like Zidane gave him a lot of praise, but I actually found a list here of like all the different players that had like given him praise. So I just wanted to read you some of these quotes from like obviously really famous players about Paul Scholes. So starting off, Andres Iniesta. Without a doubt, my biggest regret in football is not playing alongside Paul Scholes.
Did he have the option to?
I mean, he probably could have left. I bet he probably could have left Barcelona to go to Man U if he wanted to.
But I wonder if he was asked and said no.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
his regret makes it seem like he had the chance.
He could have.
And he did not.
Xavi, also at Barcelona. Paul Scholes was a role model. For me, he's the best central midfielder I've seen in the last 15 to 20 years. So both the guys at Barcelona playing alongside each other, like, that guy's better than us, basically. Yeah. Ferguson, one of the greatest football brains Manchester United has ever had. Zidane, my toughest opponent, Scholes. He's almost untouchable. I never tire of watching him. You rarely come across the complete footballer, but Scholes is as close to it as you can get.
Dude, yeah. Insane.
Carrot, Scholes is just fantastic. When you play alongside him, you realize what a special talent he is. Edgar Davids. Every one of us should emulate him. We can all learn from Paul Scholes. Laurent Blanc. I'll tell anyone who asks me, Scholes is the best English player. Thierry Henry. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's one of the best, if not the best, I've played against. He could do anything.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves. Well, I guess he is now from all these players that you're mentioning, but if it wasn't for other players talking about him, like, Paul Scholes was never gonna. He was never flashy. He was never like about me. Like, he was never, marketing himself.
Exactly. And the last one, I just wanted to say somebody I respect very much, Andrea Pirlo, the truly great English midfield player of the generation. He didn't just play the game. He thought about the game. He lived the game.
Oh, yeah. God. So profound by Pirlo. Fucking love Pirlo. Oh man. Yeah, those are good, dude. It's good that all these, like, those are all legends of the game, and for them to say that is like
right.
the highest praise.
Like random dude that was his teammate, right? It's like
exactly.
Those are like the best of the best in his generation.
And were they all midfielders? I think they were.
I mean, not all of them. Thierry Henry was in there.
Oh, Thierry Henry. He played a little mid, but like
coaches. And, I mean, it was kind of across the spectrum, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome. Real quick, we didn't do injuries, but I'm seeing on my feed here. I was going to say, did you know Perisic tore his ACL for Tottenham
in the game? I didn't know about
practice.
That. Oh shit, that sucks.
Yeah, that
might be a retirement.
That's a bummer. It's a real bummer.
That sucks.
Okay. Do you have any more quotes, or can I hit you with mine?
No, that was it. That's all I got.
This is a quote from Jurgen Klopp. No, Germany, my heart is in Liverpool. No way I'm committed to loyalty to Liverpool. My heart's in Liverpool. You can't just cut out the last 8 years. I signed a contract, and as far as I can remember, I wasn't drugged or tied up when I signed it. That was my clear and strong decision to stay at Liverpool. That's why it's not possible to join Germany. Oh, Klopp is the man, dude. He's the man. Okay.
So good.
Okay, I have a more somber note, kind of tying into everything that we talked about earlier. So this is Gary Neville talking about the Man United ownership. Did you hear this? You hear this? He said the Glazers are responsible. It's how it works. You own a business, and everything good and bad sits with you. They inherited the best in all areas, which is true. They've overseen 10 years of mediocrity off the pitch and on the pitch. They set the culture of greed, ill discipline, indecision, and uncertainty that runs right through the club.
Damn. Fire.
Dude, Man United, man, is like... Oh, dude, the players, and it's just such a passionate fan base.
Yeah.
And he's right, though, on a lot of points.
I mean, he's right, but there's also so many of the players that are like in the media that it's like...
I know.
They have such a soapbox to speak from about this stuff, where it's like, you know, you don't see somebody saying that about like Tottenham or one of these other teams, you know.
I don't really know.
He's not wrong.
I don't really know how their structure works as far as player signings go, like how many people are involved or how much they take from the coaches. But
yeah,
the signings that they've made have just been awful. Like, how many strikeouts have they had on players? Like players that you just knew it wasn't going to work out, and they overpaid for them.
Yeah.
We mentioned a few already.
Some of the worst sort of signing, you know, the record in the last 6 to 8 years probably.
It's crazy.
You know, it's crazy.
Like, and
I'm actually. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, dude, Harry Maguire, before he even stepped on the field, we're like, what are they doing? This is dumb. Like, that Antony one, I hadn't seen him play, but it's like, who the fuck, they're paying this dude how much? Like, okay, he must be really good. The fucking Mason Mount one this year, where we were like, this is such a gross overpayment for an average player. Like, this isn't gonna change anything. Like, I don't know. Like, what are they doing? That's where their biggest miss is.
Yeah, I saw another quote along the lines of that, but it was a quote. I actually might have been Neville like re-saying the quote, I think, because that's why I was like, this sounds familiar. But it was a quote from Ralph Ragnick, who was the interim coach before Ten Hag, if you remember. He came into like the last 6 months and then went into the off season. And he had a quote saying, "Man United don't need medicine; they need open heart surgery." Like, he was basically saying, this isn't like, you don't put a Band-Aid on what's going on here. You need to start fresh. Immediately kicked out and out of the picture. Like, he was basically telling it how it was. Nobody listened, and the, you know, whoever it was, ownership was just like, he needs out of here, and he's 100% right. Like, he said it spot on. It's like there's something wrong at the core here that you gotta fix.
And yeah, man, they finished second in the league last year. They have enough money to where they'll always be at the top. But if they want to truly contend for trophies, they gotta clean shit up.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's bad.
Okay, this one isn't a quote, but it was an interview with Paul Scholes that I saw, which was interesting, where they asked him a couple of questions, and a couple of them that I liked were, they said, "Would you rather have a young, it was like something like an 18-year-old Wayne Rooney or an 18-year-old Michael Owen?" Because if you remember, Michael Owen was like
insane.
He was like, I don't even know, like Messi before Messi, kind of, when he was a kid. Which he looked like a kid because he was all small out there too, but he was so quick. But Paul Scholes, without any hesitation, picked Rooney. And he also gave a cool little story where he said that Alex Ferguson texted him and asked him what he thought of Wayne Rooney, if basically should we bring him in, what do you think of him? And he was like, yes, he's got it, this is the guy, definitely. He was saying that at 18 years old,
16 or 17,
he said at 18 years old he was playing like a man, he talked shit like a man, he said he had the confidence, he was ready, and he said he would bully guys at 18. So bring that dude in. So he's like, I was part of the reason why Wayne Rooney ended up at Man United. I was like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So I saw another story about Wayne Rooney actually that kind of speaks to his mentality. So I think it was closer to the end of his career. I'm forgetting now who the players were. I think it was maybe Lingard and Pogba or somebody. But anyway, they lost. I think they all played together at one point maybe. But they lost a game, and I think the next day they went into practice or whatever, 2 days later, whatever, they show up for practice. And he said he went into the locker room and they were played music and dancing around. And this was somebody else speaking about it. It wasn't Rudy talking about himself, but they're Wayne Rooney walked in and said, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Grabbed their speakers and threw them out of the locker room. And he said, "We just lost. What are you guys?" He was just I forget exactly what he said, right? But he was like, "We just lost this game and you guys are dancing. That's not what this is about. That's not the mentality at Man United."
Wait, what? Name that trio of guys again. It was Lingard.
I think it was definitely Lingard, and it was somebody else Pogba, a couple of younger players, right? That were oh, whatever, we lost,
and Pogba, but all those guys, dude. Where's Jesse Lingard now?
Exactly.
Pogba's fucking done. His career's over. He's going to be suspended, and he never amounted to what he should have been. He never cared about the game. He was one of those guys that was crazy talented, but not passionate. And you need to have that passion, dude. And
he had it, so
he definitely had it. He had it in spades, dude. That's the difference. Not all guys.
He might not have been the best player. He was skilled. I always thought of Rooney like this. I never thought of him as the best player. A lot of people talked about him like that.
He did have elite skills though. He did certain things at an elite level.
I would agree 100%. But he was never the clear best player in the world or anything like that. I felt right. But you could just look at his face and be you don't want to play against that guy. That guy's gonna kill you. That's what it takes. That's what really matters. I equate it to on the defensive side, Vincent Kompany, I feel was the same sort of mentality.
That's a good one.
He was skilled as a defender. Nobody was ever he's the best in the world, right? But he was really good. But that mentality was just he's gonna kill you. Those are the guys that are the real winners. They don't need to be the best. They aren't the best. They're still really good. But that's where they kill you.
The end of the spectrum of that guy is Roy Keane.
100%. 100%.
He's on one side, and like Paul Pogba's on the other. Maybe Eden Hazard.
Hazard's probably up there too.
Oh man. Yeah, but no, I'm with you. That's why Rooney was so sick, dude. Rooney's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, those are all the quotes I had.
All right. Well, you want to get into some bets as we wrap it up?
Yeah, we've had enough to drink now. And
yeah, we're thinking straight.
Let's make some money, dude. We got to keep this streak rolling. What are we, 5 weeks in, and we're just win?
I'll quickly touch on the stats because we went over it last time. But just to remind you, 60% win rate this year. 15 out of 25 bets have been won. We've almost doubled our money. We've upped our money 85%, so almost to the 100% threshold of doubling our money.
So we're drunk idiots, but maybe we're not that stupid. About. Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking
Famous
about.
last words. We're about to lose like the next 20 weeks.
Right when the real money starts going.
Oh man.
I mean, so I struggle here. So to be honest, I am struggling this week because you saw when I went through my picks,
all those ties. Yeah,
I picked a lot of draws. Man. I think there's a lot of even matches.
Well, maybe we go a little conservative on the amount of bets we place. Let's just go through each match and then see how we feel about it, but not take any crazy chances. All right. Crystal Palace at home for Fulham. They're 110 to win. Fulham plus 310, draws 255. Again, I picked Crystal Palace to win, but getting those odds, like, I don't feel super confident about that.
Yeah, negative odds.
So that's a no-go for me. Luton Town Wolves plus 230 for Luton to win. Wolves plus 120. Again, I don't feel confident in this. I might be saying this for every match. Every match. Okay, Man City at home minus 675. That's insane. Minus 675 to win. Nottingham Forest is not a bad team either. Plus 1,500 for them to win.
It's true, but we'll definitely throw it in like a favorite parlay, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even going to change the odds, but maybe. Okay, Brentford at home for Everton. They're minus 125 to win. Everton plus 330. I feel pretty confident about this one. Everton just looks so bad.
No, I feel confident in winning, but it's like
I'm at least flagging this one as a potential parlay ad because I do think Brentford takes this 9 out of 10 matches. You know what I mean?
I feel you there.
Okay, next one, Burnley at home for Man U. They're plus 320 to win. Man United minus 135. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I would like taking Man U here if the odds were a little bit better. Like if they were at even or even some plus odds, I would love it. But I do
think they win this though.
I do think we need to look at. I mean, I agree with you. I picked them to win, but I do think we need to look at some over-unders maybe this week. It's going to be tough.
There's one over-under this next match I feel like we just have to take. There has to be goals in this. Arsenal-Tottenham. I don't see a world where it's 1-0. The way Tottenham's been playing, and...
I mean, I 100% get it, but the odds makers have adjusted it, man. You need...
What is it, 3.5?
3 goals, and you don't even break even.
We get plus odds at 3.5, plus 102. I still want to take the over.
I'm down to take it, though. I like it.
The argument against it is this is a derby. It's going to be really physical. Maybe not as many chances as you would think. But I can't see a world where this isn't 2-2 or more.
Well, exactly, because you saw Arsenal last week against battle-hardened Everton trying to play defensive, right, and keep them from scoring 1-0 game. But these are two teams that love to attack.
Yeah, Tottenham is not going to do that.
Exactly. They're not going to sit back. So I do like it. I like it. It's just we need 4 goals for this to pay out. So
Yes, it is.
it's
It
a
is
longer
tough.
shot. I like that it's at plus odds because usually with the over-unders, I feel like you usually see them at like minus 110 for the over, minus 115, minus 120.
Yeah.
So to see it at plus, I do like that. So even
Okay.
money at least.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but Arsenal minus 145 to win, and then Tottenham plus 330 to win. I kind of like that Tottenham plus 330 if you want to take a long shot, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Because I did pick them to win. In my, not that I went 2-2 draw, but I could easily see them win. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Next one, Brighton at home for Bournemouth. Minus 265 for Brighton to win, plus 575. Again, I don't know. The over/under is 3.5.
I don't like the over/under. It's too high, but I like Brighton to win. I feel pretty strong about that.
I think they've adjusted to basically every Brighton match. The over/under is going to be that or higher.
Yeah.
You're not going to get below 3.5. It's crazy.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, potential parlay for sure, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, this one. I don't know what the fuck to do with this one. Chelsea at home, minus 110 to beat Aston Villa. Aston Villa plus 275 to win. I picked Aston Villa to win in our Pickems, so I obviously think plus 275 is a good number for that. Chelsea have been dog shit. To get plus odds on a potential win against them, I feel like not a bad bet. I don't know. What do you think? Are you on the same page with me or no?
I mean, I went with the draw on this one myself. To be honest,
plus 290 for that one.
Well, no. I'm saying to be honest, the over/under to me sticks out to be more. We only need 3 goals to actually make money. The over/under is at 2.75. So if there's 3 goals in this game, you're actually netting positive.
You made a good point about Mings being hurt earlier.
I could easily see it. Like, I went a 2-2 draw on this. I feel like you could easily see 3 goals.
All right, I'm with you on that.
But I'm much less confident picking either of these teams to win. I'm much less confident in it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I know Villa's going to score. It's just a matter of is Chelsea going to score.
Yeah.
All right, Liverpool at home for West Ham, minus 260 for Liverpool, plus 550 for West Ham. That's a huge gap. I think the game is going to be closer than those odds indicate. But at the same time,
plus 460 for a draw too. That's steep.
But at the same time, I picked Liverpool to win. I think they're going to win. I think I would be shocked if they didn't win. Dude, I don't know. And this is kind of I don't know. I don't feel confident about this one. Because this is one where we were both off the odds on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe long shot potential. Maybe a low bet on like a West Ham win.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
These are tough games.
Sheffield, Newcastle. Yeah. Newcastle on the road, minus 215 to win. Again, I don't like those odds on the road, even though I think they're going to win. Yeah, this is a tough one for betting this week. What are we going to do?
It sucks, man. I mean, and keep in mind, the real money bets are only going to be on Sunday. So these last 5 games.
Yeah. Okay, of all of them, I think we felt the best about the over on the Arsenal-Tottenham, right? Or the over on the Chelsea Villa. The 2 overs are probably the most confident we feel.
If we're gonna do a favorite parlay, I like Brighton and Newcastle. Let me see what that gets us.
Newcastle minus 215, Brighton minus 265. So yeah, maybe even odds.
Yeah, even odds. Yeah. I wish it was higher.
Yeah, I wish it was higher too. Damn. These are tough. Maybe
it's tough, man.
Do we just go?
If we threw Liverpool in, if like you think they're gonna win. So we did a three legger there. Brighton.
What about a Brighton?
It only gets you to like plus 200.
What about a Brentford? I think Brentford's going to win against Everton, and minus 125 is not horrible. So what if we combine that with?
Well, we can't. I mean, it's not going to be real money because that's Saturday.
Okay, well, whatever. If this one's a fake bet,
money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think putting Brentford together with.
I like pick the Brentford
of Brighton or.
I like Brighton. That gets us to 150. You want to do a three? You want to throw in Newcastle?
No. Yeah, throw in Newcastle. See, does it change the odds at all?
Plus 263.
Yeah, not as much as I would have hoped.
Yeah. I'd rather keep the 150 with only 2 picks.
Yeah, I think I'd rather
let's do that. We'll do Brentford, Brighton. We'll do that. That's fine.
Okay, Brentford, Brighton.
Brentford.
I feel like that bet can't lose.
So that gets us to plus 148.
Okay. All right, so you want to focus on a Sunday only bet. Okay, definitely the over on the Arsenal Tottenham. We already mentioned that. What about the over on the Chelsea Villa?
Over, it was over. Let me get this right. Over 3.25 at plus 102. Sorry, what was the other one?
The other was the Chelsea Villa over at minus 115. We like that one as well.
You only need 3 to get.
To get your money back.
It's only 2.75. 3 goals will actually make you make money.
Yeah. So.
What's that? Minus 115.
Yeah, minus 115. Do you want to bet those separately, or do you want to parlay them together?
I don't know. Let's see what that would be. So if we separate, they're both, about even money, right?
So what's that? Probably
together,
like plus 300, plus 350 or something.
Yeah, plus 280.
Damn. Yeah, just do them separate then.
Separate, yeah.
Any others you want to do?
I like putting a little bit down on West Ham upset. I was like, what was it, plus
550? Hell yeah. Just something small. I'm with that. Even like $20 or something.
Yeah.
$20 each. Throw 40 on it. Dude, I don't think I told you. My buddy Taylor, he sent us the thing. And granted, this probably gets him back to even because he throws money at crazy shit all the time. 2 weeks ago, NFL, he placed a $75 8-team parlay that hit.
Yeah.
Cashed out almost $6,000. It was like 5,700 and change.
It was just teams to win or lose, or what?
Yeah, 8-team parlay, $75. Dude.
Super teaser right there, dude. Getting all teased up.
Crazy.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it was wild. So like.
Yeah, I mean it sucks. I really don't.
I don't like betting that way. I don't like betting that way.
Well, yeah. No, I feel you. But I also don't like betting on these games that we see this week.
I know this week is the worst week, dude. Like
all the other weeks, it was like we knew what we were doing, but this one's tough.
It is a tough one. I feel like there's no layups on this.
Yeah.
I feel like we found a couple of targets like each week. We're like, this is for sure money. This is for sure money. This one, I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's nothing that jumps out to me.
If I were to do a Sunday parlay, I think it would be Newcastle to win. I just wish those odds for Brighton were better. And a Villa win. Dude, I'm just like up on Villa.
I know. We can do it.
I mean, you don't have to get in with me. I'll put my own money on this one. We don't have to split it, but I feel like that if I'm taking a
like
chance.
An Aston Villa win and a
Newcastle win.
Plus 450.
See, I'm with that. Yeah, just give me like $20 on that just to take the shot.
Yeah. Aston Villa and Newcastle win. Plus 449. All right.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that if I wasn't forcing bets, but that's the bet I like if I'm forcing it.
Okay. All right. Well, call it there.
I think so. All right. We'll have fun in Vegas, and
yeah, man.
We'll recap next week.
We're gonna have to go through all these bets over again when I actually get the real lines when I get there. So.
I still have this winning ticket I got to mail. I'm gonna do that this weekend.
Oh my god, dude.
It's still here, dude.
I'm gonna text your wife, dude.
I've been looking at it every day, being like, oh shit, I'm basically leaving like $200 on the table right here. Yeah, I'll
get that.
Yeah, it's because I gotta go get stamps, man.
You don't have any stamps? Oh, that sucks. Yeah,
no, that's the worst. I gotta like go do it. So I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. Anyways, have a good time. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.